Very briefly, yes, thank you.
Representative, are you?
Pete, we're going to get started.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Committee on Transportation.
Hi.
No,
No, he wasn't so clear.
He's fishing?
No, I think it's done.
Oh, is this the only copy we have?
Yeah.
And then we'll, okay.
This is just some supporting material.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, welcome to the Committee on Transportation hearing today. We have 17 bills that are scheduled for the hearing today. If you would like to testify and you have not signed in, please sign in. Just a couple of people signed in on these bills, but if you haven't signed in and we get through the list, if you want to welcome to testify as well. I see a couple of our colleagues here, and we typically take the legislators first to allow them to get to their scheduled meetings throughout the day. So, this is Representative Tucker, and we're ready to go.
Thank you,
Welcome
Mr.
to the
Chairman.
members of the committee and to those here from the hearing today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here today on behalf of House 3894. It's a home rule petition that I filed at the request of Mayor Driscoll and Salem City Council, and it's to establish a Salem Harbor Port Authority. As I said, it has a strong support of the mayor. I've submitted some written testimony from her. This bill is actually the result of about a year's worth of homework. They looked at some deep water ports in New Bedford, Boston, and Gloucester. We have a lot of things going on the waterfront. We're repurposing a 63-acre site. The footprint power was taken over. They only need about 1/3 of it. We have a deep water port. As it stands now, there's some commercial and recreational activity there in addition to the Salem Ferry. What the Harbor Port Authority would consider is having a 5-member board with the mayor as the chairperson to be able to restore some vibrancy here. There's some in the bill. It talks about the geographic power, it talks about the authority, what they're looking to do, and it really is modeled after some of the very successful ports in Massachusetts. We have a lot going on down there right now. The mayor wants to make sure that everything is cut and shepherded in the right direction, and putting professionals, and you'll see in the bill some of the qualifications of the bill of the folks that we want. It should really be a great idea to move things forward, and has a very strong support of the city.
Any questions? I will look forward to working with you on this, Representative, and I think the mayor has also sent a letter with some suggestions as well. We have that letter, and work with you as we talk about this with members of the committee and my co-chair and members of the committee. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members. Appreciate it.
Representative Deal? Good afternoon, welcome.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. And members of the committee, thank you for the time to get this bill. I appreciate you taking me out of order. I'm not going to over or undersell this bill as far as its relation to transportation, other than the fact that what we're trying to do is allow the R&B application for a motor license to be used as the registration method for selective service. And so I'm joined by Kathleen Keegan from Selective Service and retired Colonel Brian Barnes from Selective Service to testify. And as I know, Kathleen's been here before in 2 previous sessions to speak, and as Brian is now taking over taking over as state director. So again, testimony you may hear may be familiar. Hopefully you'll also consider the merits of this bill as far as telling colleagues beyond just transportation aspects as well. So what this bill does, H 2974, an act to ensure benefits through enhanced selective service registration, is it takes, well, let me just back. This bill reported out favorably last session, and it would require the registry of motor vehicles to share the information of applicants for driver's licenses with the Selective Service Administration upon attaining of 18 years of age, thereby registering them officially. 46 other states do this. We are just one of a few that don't. Registration with Selective Service is required by both state and federal law. Failure to register by 27 can result in fines, jail time, and ineligibility to obtain student loans, exclusion from federal employment, and even denial of application for citizenship. So, again, Massachusetts compliance rate, because we don't do this, among 19-year-olds is one of the worst in the country. We're at about 66% of people registering. And what happens is, as they can elaborate as well, is the main place where kids are already aware of it is in high school when they're applying for college loans. And if you're not looking to maybe go on to higher education, you're going to possibly fall into this pool of people that never register for selective service and ultimately become ineligible. That has resulted over the last 3 years in $11 million in lost benefits and service because of not being registered, having a certain portion not registered. So this bill, again, was filed in the previous session, had the support of former registrar Rachel Caprillion. When she reviewed it, the employees at the register have indicated they already share various data sets with federal agencies, and the Selective Service Administration estimates any cost to implement this proposal would be minimal, if any. All right, and then Veteran Secretary Francisco Urena is a local board member of Selective Service System and has expressed support of this bill. And finally, last session we had presidential appointee and director of Selective Service, Lawrence Romo, actually fly out from DC and take time to commit to appear before the committee. So again, asking favorable recognition for this bill out of transportation and theoretically more support down the road to have it adopted so that we can bring everybody into that legal requirement of being registered for selective service and open doors for other opportunities.
Thank you, Representative. Yes, Representative.
Well, maybe I'll listen to the whole thing and then. Okay.
So the short of it is, if a male 18 to 25, he does not register by his 26th birthday, that window slams shut, and he is no longer eligible to become a citizen, to get government loans or a government job. And I don't know if you have this sheet that was passed out, but this just shows a snapshot from 2011 to 2013. $11 million in what would have been student loans or government jobs was lost to our constituents. These folks will never qualify for these jobs or these loans or citizenship. 1,000 people in 2011 to 2013 were denied citizenship because they did not register with the Selective Service in their timely manner. So it's important that this bill, it's a law, Selective Service is the law that men register for the Selective Service. They're not registering for the military, they're just registering for the Selective Service in the event that the government deems that there's going to be a war. So it's important that we catch this group of people that's falling through. And this is only a snapshot of folks who have contacted the Selective Service and said, hey, I was denied a government job, is there anything I can do? There's some people that don't even contact the Selective Service, so we don't really know the actual number. So it's important, I implore you, for 10 years we've been trying to move this along. 46 other states recognize the importance of this. So please, help us move this along.
Yeah, I would like that, but this is just another part of the plan. There's many of the things that are done on an annual basis. We make visits to the post office to make sure that the literature is displayed there properly. People can sign up, young men can sign up at the post offices. We have an active program through high schools. And also, some of the ones financial aid on the FAFSA form, there's a block that you can check. It also registers individuals automatically there. So, this just is just another vital prong or attack to trying to get everybody registered, because there are some benefits that some people unfortunately will miss out on. And then the bottom line is it's a requirement, it's the law. Eventually they're going to have to register. So this is really just an aid to try to help people, to help the state to reach that 100% compliance. As he said, 46 other states are doing it. And it really isn't a big financial burden that you will do.
If you want to be a police officer in your local town or firefighter, you have to register for selective service. They miss that cutoff date. 26 years you've done.
What this bill does is other states does, the registry automatically registers you. What's the information that actually go to through the registry, is that correct?
Correct. In fact, there was a previous version of the bill years ago that was sort of a checkbox, but what all states have moved to is just an automatic, once you fill out your form, it's a recognition that you are registered as well, and that data can be sent for registration.
Rosanna, question?
Thank you. I just made a little note. It's been almost 50 years since I registered.
Happy anniversary.
Just about. And it sort of, it hadn't occurred to me, but it sort of came out during this conversation. Of course, we're still talking just about young men in this case. But yet women have combat roles and really have an ability to fully participate in the military, but they still have not been picked up by the selective service. Seems to be something of an oversight this day and age, but I'll leave it at that. I understand it's not really connected to this bill, but.
No, absolutely, and I would welcome that because I think that it's only fair. Why is it only that half the country be responsible for signing up? So, but it's not the selective service, it's legislation have to change. So I'm behind you if you want to start that.
Would you like an amendment?
I actually thinking that.
Yeah, here, here.
Rosanna?
Chris, we still have the draft copy.
You can actually look it up online if you go to sss.gov.
How does this affect, let's say someone who's going to the registry, and for whatever reason, the conscientious objector, or whatever you want to use as a term, and they say, I'm not going to sign this, and I don't care, I'm not going to do it, and I'm just thinking in terms of the people at the registry having to deal with some of these people, would they still be able to get their license or not?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. So it's an interesting question. They're not signing up for the military, so even if they're a conscientious objector, it has nothing to do with them. They can still be a conscientious objector. They're not going to the military with this. It's just registering their name with the military. So if they decided, so say the balloon went up and there was a draft, at that point, that registrant would then appeal and say, I'm a conscientious objector. It would appear before we train civilians to be ready to conduct a local board or draft board, and he would appear before that board made up of 5 members of the local community to say, I'm a conscientious objector, so against my moral beliefs to go fight. So then the board would decide whether to reclassify him.
Right, but it was just a matter of dealing with the registry. I mean, as it is, people go in there, and it's always a battle. People have an impression of the registry when they go in, and this is just one more thing for the people behind the desk to deal with. And so I guess, again, the question would be, if they refuse to sign the release, would they still be able to get their license?
It is the law that they sign up, so it's sort of them saying, I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to for the law. That's an interesting question. I don't know the answer. Again, 46 other states have it, so we could go back to our region headquarters and find out how they respond to that.
Thank you.
That's a great point. I'm sure that that's happening on states where people say, you know, I don't want to register. So I don't know if there's what information you give us and what that's out, what do they do? I think the point's clear that you have to, you made it pretty clear, you have to register. It has nothing to do with how you feel about serving.
Right.
But
We're
if
not
you're-
signing up for the military.
Right. I'm sure that's come up at some point, so I don't know if you have any information to that effect. It would be helpful. I think that's some questions we can, that would be great. And I think our representative, we got, put this out favorably in the past, so I think, the point's been made clear. Co-chair is, co-chair's trust now, we'll talk about it with the members of the committee, see what we're going with.
Make sure we get that answer before you guys.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. I just, know what questions come up sometimes. The point will take. So, thank you very much. Any other questions? Thanks for being here. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
That's all that's signed in. We have about 17 bills. Anybody else have any testimony on today's bills? So with that,
Do you want to talk further about that?
we've got time. Well,
adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
So we have a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, aye. The ayes have it. Thank you all very much.